This is an onion, and we are not sure whether it's holding the cure to menstruation clots, those big ones, and also something like PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome, that usually come with all manners of trouble when it comes to your menses. Like you would find easily that you're getting very heavy periods, and this is where even the clots come in, and also very light periods, or just generally you are having irregular cycles. That is a cycle. A normal cycle is supposed to be, that's for the ideal, supposed to be 28 days. That's the ideal, the textbook cycle. But it can range all the way from 21 days all the way to 34. So anything in between, yeah, it's a normal cycle. But it can be, like when it comes to now it being a regular cycle, you're supposed to, if you usually take like 22 days for the whole cycle, you're supposed to always be having that. So after 22 days, sometimes it can be 21 or maybe 25. It can be but a variation of the cycle of viewers. It should be each and every month, so long as you're not pregnant or you're not taking oral contraceptive, not oral, hormonal contraceptives, and several other things that can disrupt your menses. On a normal day, you're supposed to get that each and every after your day cycle. Like for example, if yours is supposed to be 34 days, every 34 days or 32 or something close to 34 is when you're supposed to get your cycle. Anything above that, like for example 40 days, that's irregular cycle, that's a long cycle. Sometimes you can get someone with even less days, like you're getting your menses in 18 days, sometimes 20. That is still an irregular cycle, and it's something that's supposed to be checked. Now we're going to look at the onions. There is a study which is a very interesting one that I was looking into. This one here. So this study was done on the effects of onions or onion juice on those with the PCOS. PCOS will give you, like I said, all manners of issues when it comes to your menses now, or your cycle. Now, one thing you have to understand is PCOS, there is formation of some cysts inside your ovaries. That's why the syndrome is called polycystic ovarian syndrome. So they're going to be there, they're fluid filled. The effect of this is, you see your ovary is very responsible for production of estrogen. Estrogen plays a major role when it comes to the cycle and all things to do with your femininity. So anything affecting that, it will affect so many things, and that's why you find that in addition to having irregular cycles, you're going to have other effects like having dry vagina, painful periods, and so many things that comes with having a disruption when it comes to estrogen. Now, even infertility. So the study was done in Istanbul Medical University, and what they did was very interesting. They picked 64 women that had PCOS, the one that we've described, polycystic ovarian syndrome. In group 1, which was made up of 31 women, this is a control group. They were given just a placebo. This is something that tastes like onions and even smells like onions, but it's actually not onions, so something synthetic. It didn't give them the actual juice from the onions. By the way, what they did is they just boiled the onions and then they normalized that across all the people, and then from there, that's when they were able to get the juice from the onions just by boiling. The same thing that you can do at home. So what they did, like I said, 31 women, they were just a control group, so they were given something that will resemble what you'll get once you boil this onion, but it's actually not an onion. And then there was another group which was made up of 33 women, and this one was given the actual juice. So they boiled and then they were given, and this went for 15 days. Each and every day you're going to take 200 mls, and this is 2 cups, 200 mls in total per day for 15 days. And it's actually interesting, because now they were able to collect data. After giving them for those 15 days, they collected data for up to 6 months. And then from there, they were able to come up with some very interesting results. Now, for the results, this is the baseline structure, meaning that they were tested for all this before they commenced on the study. And this is what they got, yeah? So this group was given a placebo, meaning that they were given nothing to do with the onions. But then if you look carefully here, nothing interesting is going on. But now go to the second group that was made up of 33 women, and if you look, this is the case group, meaning that this is they were given the actual juice from the onions. Now this is where it becomes a little bit interesting. Now if you look at the case group, which is what was the group that was given the actual dose, not a placebo, several things happened. If you look carefully, you'll find that, just disregard FBS, look at something like a FSH, which is follicle stimulating hormone. Very important when it comes to the cycle. You know, you have 4 hormones. You have follicle stimulating hormone, you have luteinizing hormone, you have progesterone, you have estrogen. They're very important in addition to other hormones that will also affect the cycle, but those 4, they control the cycle overall. So if you find look at FSH, there was a rise. So there was a rise. And also if you look at luteinizing hormone, there was a dip. It kind of went down a little bit. When you have PCOS, the ratio between luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone is always high. It's, most of the time is usually high. But after this, now you can even deduce what is going to happen. It's going to almost normalize, because you will find that follicle stimulating hormone is going high. So luteinizing hormone is going low. So you are going to normalize, it's almost normalizing, and this is what will give you some very good effects later on, but you're going to see that. So you're going to skip everything and go to what is actually important. Look at now the actual things that happened, yeah, the outcome. Now let's go to the discussion, which is now what was found out after the study, which is looking very important, which is why we are here. Now if you look at now menses, the menstrual cycle resumed after the 15 days treatment, and it was 81% in the group, the case group, which had 33 people. So if you look at this here, this is actually 81%. So this is a very good improvement. Now if you look at dysmenorrhea, you're going to find that this is 15% versus 83%, meaning that there was a decline. So those who had irregularities, and go to something like the frequency of amenorrhea, you're going to find that there was a drop, because you see this is actually 39.4, sorry, and 81.6. This is a huge drop. Go to something menorrhagia. Now you're going to find that there was this is 12.1. This is actually a huge dip versus 51.8%. And you can see almost everything is pointing towards something significant, in as much as we disregarded something like fasting blood sugar and all those. We picked those which are now specific to the menstrual cycles. Now, my conclusion. One thing I usually say all the time is, if something is not giving you side effects, it's good for your health, go ahead and use it. Now, if you have PCOS, you know, we have drugs that we use to treat that. Like it can be the diet, of course, that will be the first thing, because you need to drop the weight to the normal level. Even after using this, even if there's something that's working for your PCOS condition, it's very important for you to drop the weight to a point where it's very sustainable and the one that's not going to give you trouble. But we have drugs like, for example, using the hormonal contraceptives, and they are there with all the side effects that you get. But for this, apart from, for example, you might be allergic to this. We have people who are allergic to it. If you are not, you can go ahead and use it. And also we have people that usually have trouble with their stomach, like they start getting bloated stomach, and sometimes they get hyperacidity, which is something like heartburn. If you get those when you're using this, I think it's good you go and explore other alternatives, but this looks like something promising. So just go get some onions, chop them, and then boil them, and then eat and every day. And I would encourage you, instead of doing this for 15 days, do it for 30 days. Then after doing that, after you are done, consider dropping weight. Now, if you go through the study, you will find out that it didn't matter whether you are obese or maybe you had your weight was within the BMI. There was some very good effect, but you'll have to still lose weight back to your normal BMI, which is 18.5 to 24.9 or thereabout. Just stay within 20. That will be a safe zone. So one thing, just go out, try it out, and then come back in the comment region and tell us after those 30 days whether it worked or you had anything positive. But one thing you have to understand is, if you look at the statistics, they're not 100%. Like if you look at, for example, those who got their menstrual cycles, if that mens is coming back, this is 81%. So 81%, 81.2, it means that we still have 19.8% that didn't get the positive outcome. So it doesn't mean that in as much as even using the normal drugs, we don't actually have those that will act like 100% of the time. So we still have a tiny fraction of people who will not benefit from this. If you're within those 18.9% that will not benefit from this, don't be discouraged. We still have other things that you can use to regulate the PCOS, one of which is exercises, in as much as if it actually new, it's very important for you to also exercise each and every day, even if you're healthy. And if you are unhealthy, get some way of exercising your body, because that's how you keep your body active and healthy all the time. So thank you for watching up to this point. And if you've not subscribed, I've discovered that a whopping 70% of people watching my videos are not subscribed. I would want you to become part of this team. Yeah. And in case you have anything, maybe we can continue the conversation down in the comment region. See you in the next video.